Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is, yes, still Louise, and today it's a really rainy, miserable day, and so I thought I would get into making a few flat happy mails to put away in my stash. And I thought, hang on, I really like to share these ideas with you. So today I'm bringing you 3 flat happy mail ideas made out of 3 pieces of A4 paper and 3 pieces of 30 by 30 centimeter or 12 by 12 inch paper and 1 envelope. For this you'll need scissors, double-sided tape, a glue stick, some PVA glue, not really necessary, but I like it, some washi tape, and if you want to get fancy, a corner thingamajigamy, and a circle punchy thing. But they're not really necessary, and quite frankly, these 3 things are probably fairly interchangeable anyway. Sometimes I just get impatient and I don't want to wait for the glue to dry. So with the magic that is editing, let's go and see how I do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do to show you what we need for the flat mails is to just show you the paper that I'm using. So I said I was going to be using 3 bits of A4 paper, 3 bits of 12 inch 30 centimeter paper, and the A4 paper I've just printed out with some printables that I have. I think I got these from Click Supply, Click Art Supply, I don't know, I'll have to put it in the description. And yes, I just double side print them on my printer, and then I have 2 white backed pieces of 12 by 12 and 1 double sided piece of 12 by 12 and the 1 extra large DL envelope, and that is the size which is the maximum size accepted by Australia Post for the minimum postage. So the first mail we're going to make is the 3 pocket flat mail, and Hellomynameisbec does a wonderful tutorial on this over at her channel, which is of course where I got the idea, and I've just slightly adapted it because she uses a 12 by 12 paper and I'm using the A4 paper here, and it's just normal printer paper, so it's really light and thin. So the first thing I'm doing, I don't really do any measurements because the name of the game is to fit everything into this envelope, into this sized envelope. So if it doesn't fit in there, you know, then you're immediately sort of behind the 8 ball, because then you're trying to find an envelope that meets the standard for the minimum postage. So what I'm doing here is, rather than measuring, I'm just using the envelope as the guide. So I've decided to put the directional pattern as the outside, with the non-directional pattern on the inside of the paper. So I've just done a fold there, and it's basically folding like a third of the way. It's not the exact size of the envelope, it's a bit smaller, but that's okay. What's that, 19 centimeters? So I've probably folded it like, 10 centimeters, and I've got like 9 centimeters. So it's roughly 2/3, 1/3. Now on the side that I haven't folded up, I'm just turning down the corner, not all the way, just leaving a little border there so you can see the contrast of the papers. So this then creates 1 pocket in the middle, And on the other side with the half folded page up, I'm just doing the same thing here, and this creates one pocket in between the two bits of paper and one pocket behind. So I've just folded that, and now we're just going to stick it together. So if you want to be a bit fancy, you can get your corner rounder and your round, what's that thing called, circle punch and so forth, and tizzy up the edges. So I'm just showing you here all the different folds if you do it like that. So I'll just do a bit of corner rounding. And the paper's a little bit limp still because it's just freshly printed. I just have an inkjet printer, so I try and print out ones that aren't really super ink heavy, and if they are, I'll often just increase the transparency of the pattern so it's not as sorry, my husband's making dinner, so if you hear sort of banging pot noises and things, it's him being very industrious making dinner for me on Mother's Day, which is a lovely, lovely thing to do. So for this one, I am just using the double-sided tape as the adhesive because it's just thin printer paper. Sometimes if you use a wet glue or even a glue stick, it can get a bit like wrinkly. So buckled, yeah. So I'm just using the double-sided tape, and then you get instant gratification for it sticking all together. So I'm just going to do the little notch out there to indicate the pocket. And yeah, the paper's still a bit limp, so it's not punched through amazingly, but it's still okay. And I'm just coming in with the double-sided tape again and sticking those bits down. Yeah, so it's a bit of a miserable day here today. It's Mother's Day, and I don't really want to go out for Mother's Day because everywhere's really busy and crowded and full of mothers. And if I stay at home, I'm the only mother, so I can be the star of the show. Oh, that's probably a terrible thing to say. Okay, so we're just opening it up here, and we can see those two folds, and so we'll just stick down this side bit. I mean, you could get out your fancy tools here. You could get out your bone folder and other bits and pieces to do it. And if you have those things, then that's probably a good idea. I just wanted to show you how to make these really quick and easily with minimal fuss. And there are a lot of free printables too on the amazing world that is the internet. And so of course, if you're sending happy mail and just wanting to print a bit of a different design off, it's not bad going and having a look. Often on Pinterest, people have really interesting Pinterest boards with lots of free printables. So here you can see the three different pockets, the big one on the front and the two smaller ones on the back, or this could be the back and the other, or that could be the front. And of course it fits very easily into that envelope, and of course you can decorate, you could stamp, you could paint, you could put washi tape, you could put stickers, you could really do whatever you like. So that was mail number 1. So on to mail number 2. I first saw this idea on PaperManiaHeather's YouTube video. She hasn't been very active for quite some time now, but she has quite an interesting backlog of videos to go and have a look at. And for this one, you just need 2 sheets of paper. Sometimes I do this with old book pages. You could do it with magazine pages. You could really do it with any sort of paper. Yep, so I'm just measuring there and seeing what the width has to be. So I'm just folding that over to make sure it's within the dimensions of the envelope. So I'll just take that off to my guillotine, go choppity chop chop. Wow, that was like magic, wasn't it? And look, I haven't cut myself today, so winning. And so for the next step, you've got 2 pieces layered on top of each other, and it's worth taking note of the direction of the print here. So I've got a directional print with the text, and I've got a non-directional print with the dots, and so I'm just making sure that they are in the right way as I'm folding, and I'm just folding them up. So the pieces of paper are the same size, but I've just slid the top one down, and I'm just eyeballing it to try and get the dimensions of each of the folds, so the bits of paper that are showing are roughly the same. But yeah, once again, you don't need measurements as long as you are measuring against your envelope and you know it's going to fit in the envelope at the end of the make. That is the important thing. So I would strongly suggest that you always choose your envelope first, or make your envelope first and then make the mail to fit in the envelope rather than the other way around. And then you know your dimensions, the height, the width, and also the thickness of the mail. And to put these together, I've got one washi tape stuck inside the other. So to stick these together, I'm just using a grid washi tape, and struggling to find the end. It's a bit tricky. And I am just going to the first pocket from the top there, and using that as the top part where I'm sticking the washi tape down, and then just running it along the edge. So half over the paper and half off the paper, because of course what I'm going to do is fold it over. And now I'm just going to do the other side exactly the same. And this way you get one wider pocket at the top, and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, is that only 3 pockets? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it is only 3 pockets. I thought it was 4 pockets. I shall have to change. Yeah, so the first pocket is a wider pocket. So if you maximize the width of that against your envelope, you can even fit postcards in that wider first back pocket, and then the next 2 in the front are a bit narrower where the washi tape cuts in, I guess. So just trimming it up there, make it a bit neater. And look, my first one even fits in that other one. So you could even do something like that. You could fold your letter and put some goodies in it, and then make this other pocket and put it in there. You can decorate the front, decorate the other side. You could make one of these and stick it on the back, and have another pocket on the back to put your letter in, or something like that. And if you just use printer paper, it's really, really thin and lightweight. Okay, so number 3 has 5 pockets, and this is also an adapted idea from Hellomynameisbec. And if you haven't come across her channel and you're interested in happy mail and paper crafting, go and check her out. She always has lots of fun ideas, and she has a series called Make It Monday, where she's got a whole catalogue of things that she has made for that spot. And really, really lovely channel with lots of inspiring happy mail ideas. So for this one, you're folding your square piece of paper in not quite in half, but just enough to leave like a centimetre border around the top. And once again, no measurements, just making sure that the envelope is there and measuring against the envelope so that it will fit on completion. So I've just flipped it over, and I'm folding these other sides back, and on this side too. And if you use a white, like a one-sided paper, you could actually, what I've done this before, is write my letter on the white side of the paper and then fold it up to make all the pockets, but I haven't glued it. I've just had it folded and put a few like washi stickers and things so it can be unfolded and read, so that way I could write my letter and use the letter paper as the flat mail goodie carrier. So I've just flipped it over again so we can see that other side with the sort of border around it, about a centimetre border, and now I'm just folding that over and making sure that it will fit in the envelope, and it's still, the point is still not coming over the edge, so that's nice and neat as well. And then with this second flap, I'm just going to pull, I'm just refolding my folds here, yeah. So with this second flap here, because it's a bit useless, doesn't really do anything, but add bulk, what I do is I pull it down a bit further so that you get more of a noticeable pocket there, and then I just cut it off. And I've just been a bit lazy here, I haven't been bothered to go over to my guillotine. I've just got my scissors and chopped along the fold line, so it's a little bit wonky, but that's okay. You could neaten up the edge, you could put some washi tape, you could use some decorative scissors and do a decorative edge along there. Yeah, you could tear it and have a real rustic edge. And then I'm just coming in with my circle punchy thing in a rather uncoordinated way and basically just trying to see that I've pretty much got it in the middle. I'm just eyeballing it and seeing how we go, and there I've got a little pocket there, and so you could put the letter in there or sticker sheet or any sort of ideas, and then of course you can decorate on both sides. For this one I've decided I'm going to glue down the flaps because I just want to make it a lot neater, and for this one I'm using the PVA glue because the paper is a lot stronger. It's like scrapbooking paper, so it's a lot thicker, so I really want it to be as flat as possible, and of course having strong glue in place helps with that. So I just put a clip on it to keep it in place while it's drying. And I'll do the other side. So then you've got a pocket behind the white bit and a pocket in front of the white bit on both sides, and a pocket behind as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I'll just leave that to dry. Voila, it's dry. And of course, you can decorate here along the front if you don't like those two bits not meeting. You could run some washi tape along the front, or a strip of paper or anything like that. So yep, you can use the back to put your letter in, or sticker sheet, or I think I've already said that. And I'm just checking, and yeah, look, it will fit in that envelope, ready to go. So there we go, we've got the 3 happy mails. Now the other thing that's fun to do is to make your own envelope, which is particularly good for some nice lightweight one-sided 12 by 12 paper. And I've got this one with the music print, and I think Spotlight was having a sale, and I managed to get a whole bunch of sort of loose sheets, and I think they were about 5 or 10 cents each. And so just great for making some nice envelopes. And of course you can then match it to your other mail, or you can just use those white DL XL envelopes and just use the offcuts to decorate it, the paper offcuts. So once again, I'm just using the envelope as a template and making sure I do my folds nice and accurately as I can. And yeah, of course you could use a bone folder and a scoring tool and all those things if you have them, but you don't need to. So I'm just folding that, and I will take that over to my guillotine and chop off that bit, and then I've got a nice bit of scrap music paper that I will use. So now I've got essentially a long rectangle, and now I just need to fold the ends. And of course, I think envelopes always look better when they have one end with a small flap and one end with a big flap, which kind of indicates which is the end you should open it from. So I'm just folding that up there for the little end, and then I'll just measure against the envelope and fold the big flap. And now I'm just going to open it all up and cut off all the bits that I don't need. So we'll do that. Now I don't cut along the fold lines exactly, I just cut in a bit to angle it off because I think it just looks a bit more envelopey. And then I do a little angle on the end of the flap as well to make it look more envelopey. And same on the other side. And a bit in there. So not on the fold. Yep, just coming in at an angle. And I'll save all those little offcuts and I'll use them for decorations and different bits and pieces. I have like a sort of little box on my desk that all that stuff just gets chucked into. On the angle. On the angle. On the angle. And so now once you've done this for one, you have essentially what is an envelope template. So you could actually trace this onto like a cereal box or a bit of scrap cardboard or something like that and use it as a template to make many other envelopes. So I'm just going to use this one on the other piece of scrapbooking paper I have here and make 2 envelopes. So I'm just getting my pencil and tracing around it. Not particularly accurately. But yep, there we go. Just all the angles, and I'll of course keep those little scraps as well. And now it's just a matter of folding along where the cuts kind of meet up. So just folding that in, folding the sides in, folding the flaps in, folding the other flap in, and then just yeah, just gluing it. And so what I tend to do is just run the glue stick along it first, and that will hold it in place while I'm waiting for the PVA glue to dry. So that just gives it a bit more of a secure finish, because obviously I can't put a clip on in the middle. Yep, and don't glue both ends, just one end. So I'll just show you that again. I just run the glue stick along just a bit, and then I get my PVA glue and do the long strip of that as close to the edge as I can. And yeah, and then the glue stick holds it in place while PVA glue dries. And yep, and then we'll do it for the small flap at the end. Same thing. And yep, don't glue the other end just yet. And there you have 2 homemade envelopes, 1 standard DL XL, and they all are the same size because of course I've just used that original one as the template. So we have, out of 3 bits of scrapbooking paper and 3 bits of A4 paper and 1 envelope, we have 3 different flat mails ready to be decorated and filled with goodies, and yeah, ready to go. So I hope that was useful and that you enjoyed those 3 different ideas, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!